You're so red like a cherry. What is up, everybody? It's Scott Orris, and today I got a cool little figure review. I have the Transformers Age of Extinction Dino here, and he is freaking cool, bright red awesomeness. Alright, so basically I ordered this guy from China, and he looks freaking amazing. I do have the back cover of the box, but not the whole box, just because I tried to do this review. I did all of the reviews and it got deleted, so I'm redoing this guy, and I have a better, cool knowledge of this guy, and he looks freaking awesome. So as you guys all know, this guy is actually a repaint of Sideways. He's still a cool car. He's supposed to be a Ferrari, but it instead is an Audi, but it still is a cool car. I'm liking this car better. It looks like this is what Dino would be, or maybe Mirage. I don't know. Maybe the Ferrari Rex for some people, but I like this one. This is really cool, and it looks really awesome. It's just the same mold and everything, but you do have two or maybe a couple different differences in them. But without further ado, let's hop into this review. Alright, so basically here's Dino, and as you guys can see all this cool little detail in this figure, and he looks freaking awesome. As you guys see, they put a lot of detail in here. They even gave him some translucent headlights and some black in the front on his little spoiler, or my bad, grill, and underneath the headlights they gave him some blacks. And then you guys can see all that cool indentations on here for detail, which is really awesome. And then you guys can see that they painted the rims a nice little silvery color, which looks really cool, silver and black, so that's really cool. And then if you guys go to the back, you guys can actually see a cool little Autobot symbol with some nice translucent red backlight, so that's pretty cool. So it's kind of painted red, and then there's a little translucent plastic in there for the middle or lights or whatever. And there's a better look on that Autobot symbol. And then here's a closer look on the other side of its wheels and whatnot, so it's really not that much. And then here's the front again to you guys, so you guys can see the front, which is really cool. I'm liking these translucent plastic pieces again. And you gotta love this purple windshield piece. This is really cool, and they did it on all sides and even on the back, which you guys can actually see some cool little engine work in there, which is really cool. Now let's see if he's in scale to other figures. So basically here's Dino, and here's a new mode of the Bumblebee, the one that comes with the stars, as you guys can see that in the Evolutions pack, so that's pretty cool. And basically they are almost like, maybe they would probably be the same, but with the toy in the new mode, this is kind of a little bit smaller. If you guys can see that right there, you guys can kind of see how different it is right there. But the length and wise is really cool. They're both the same kind of length right there, but he just sticks out a little bit more, not too much, but then again it's really nice, and I'm liking it. It's really cool, so you guys can see that, just really cool, if you guys can get that out of there, so that's pretty cool. And then for some more comparison, here's the next to the Evasion Mode Optimus Prime, which is kind of in scale, I would probably say, but I would just say this car probably might need to be a little bit lower to the ground. But you know, the scale is still cool. I'm not saying it's a big deal. It's not even that big of a difference, but I'm just, you know, it's really cool. I'm liking it. The height seems to be about right, but you know, might need to be a little bit lower to the ground, so that's not a big deal. And guys, here he is next to the Age of Extinction's Evasion Mode Optimus Prime, as you guys can see, which looks really cool. I would just say he has to be a little bit lower to the ground, but other than that, he is, you know, in size, and I'm really liking it. It's really cool. Maybe just a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit squishier more, maybe, you know, or something like that. But yeah, I would say it's in the same scale or range. But anyway, let's hop into transform this guy. So basically what you want to do is you want to get this guy right here. Then you want to do is press this little button right here, which will release down, if it did it right, it will release down this piece, and then it will release down the two wheels, which is really cool. And those two are released, and that just drops down a little bit like that. Then you guys can come around back and actually unhinge these two pieces right here, so that unhinges, and then these pieces right here unhinge, where you guys can actually just pull that up a little bit, if you guys can get that undone, but I will just wait to that. But usually it just pops out, the whole cab piece pops out, and then you guys can actually undo that. And you guys can unhinge these two feet by pulling them down. Don't try and pull them to the side or anything, because the little tabs on here will start to crack and break, so you don't want to do that. So then you pull these two down right here, and they just start to drop down. Then you guys can remove his little weapons, which are actually pretty nicely hidden under there, and they have a compartment for that. So then you guys can actually get his legs and start to rotate them down, so which is really cool. Then you guys can do this. Then you go to the other one. Oh, you rotate that. Then you guys can rotate these feet down. Then you guys can take the little tire pieces, rotate those the different ways around, and then have them actually kind of plug in. If you guys see that, you can actually plug into the this side piece right here. So they just plug into a little bit right there, and then you guys can pull down the feet and pull down these little floppy pieces right there. So then you guys do the same thing, rotate this up, and come back around, and have that peg into there, and there you have his feet, and they are transformed. Then if you guys want to go to the top layer, you guys can actually just come over here and then come around and unpeg these by pulling these two pieces out. Then if you want to do right here, you guys can actually unpeg this little cap piece right here, bringing this up like so, and then dropping that down right there. So that's basically his back almost. But before you drop that down, you guys want to actually pull up these little what do you call these little pieces right here. So somehow they just come up like that around, and you make sure those up. Then you pop that down, then pop that down. Then you guys want to get this piece right here. You guys want to just drop that down right so. Then you guys get the arms, take the arms out, pull those down, which reveals one of his arms. And you guys can actually take these little panel pieces up, rotate those up. Then you guys go to the same side, rotate the arms down, then rotate these up. So which is pretty cool. Then you guys can take down his feet. Make sure the feet are actually, you know what I mean, like make sure they're there. And then you guys can actually, if you guys want, you guys can actually unhinge two chest pieces, which are actually supposed to be chest pieces. They're supposed to be unhinged, but I forgot to tell you guys to do that. So try and unhinge those pieces. Then you guys can actually pull back over his head, which is really cool. Then you guys just gotta pop that in, because there is a little tab for this little piece right here, this little chest piece. If you guys can see that, you guys unhook it, then you guys actually push it in, and it just clicks into a little tab right there. So that's pretty cool. Then if you guys want to do that, once you guys have the head up, you guys can come around back. Then you guys can get the figure, take this up right here, and then actually just pop, move this out the way, pop this in. Sorry guys, pop that in, then I will click in, then you guys just pop the two back pieces in, and there you have Dino transformed. Okay guys, so here we have Dino transformed, and although he is an amazing figure, he's extremely hard to stand up just because of his little tiny feet. So as you guys know, he is a repaint of Sideways, but he does have some similarities and some differences, and let's get into that. Alright guys, so basically as you guys know, the whole body is the same and all that thing, but one thing that is very different is the head, and that is really cool how they gave you a different head so he does not look like a Decepticon. I don't know if this is a better look, but I kind of adjusted the camera so you guys can see his face, and his face is really cool. They put some cool detail in there where they put in some black, some red, and some silver, so it really makes it pop, which I'm really liking. And like I said, the body is the same. If you guys can see this cool little view that I'm doing, it's all the same as Sideways. Even though I do not have the figure, I am told that it is the same. And I've seen pictures, so it is actually the same body mode as Sideways. So that's pretty cool, and I'm really liking it. But the only thing that's bad is those little tiny feet. Okay guys, time to hop into some articulation. Basically, his head is on a ball joint, which is actually kind of hard to access because of this backpack piece. But if you guys kind of unhinge it, and some people, this is some way some people do it, they actually just have it hang right there to where the backpack won't be in the way. So if you do it like that, you guys can actually access his head, so where you guys can get the ball jointed look. So yeah, his head is on a ball joint, which is really cool. Then if you guys go down to his arms are actually on ball joints, and it has a cool little back and forth hinge right there on both sides of the arms, which is really cool. And then if you guys go even lower, he does have a little ratchet arm joint right there, which is really cool. And then you guys can go to the other side, and it also has another ratchet arm joint, and then the same thing in and out, and that's really cool. And by the way, these two little panels right here are actually on ball joints, so you guys can actually position them any way you guys want, so that's pretty cool, and I'm really liking that about it. Then if you guys get even lower to the figure, he does have some waist articulation. He can't go 360, but he does have some good around your waist articulation. Then if you guys go to his little ball jointed upper hip pieces, they are on ball joints, which is really cool, and on both of them they're really cool. Then he also has a cool little thigh swivel right there up top, right next to the ball jointed legs. And then if you guys go even lower, he has a one joint knee, which is really cool, and then a ball joint of foot joint, so that's pretty cool. And they do have a cool range of motion, just the same right there and then right there, so that's pretty awesome. So that has a cool range of motion. I'm really liking how they made his legs, but those tiny feet suck. And if you guys are wondering, does he come with weapons? He actually comes with these two blades that he used in Dark in the Moon, but they do not come with a chain piece. But yeah, these are the two blades, if you guys can see them. Let me get a better view on that. So here are the two blades which he used in Dark of the Moon. So they're just painted silver and dark gray, which are really cool. And the original color is red. If you guys can actually see inside that hole, the original color is red, so they just painted over the red. So that's pretty cool. And then if you guys are wondering, does he have any other weapons? I would actually count this as a weapon just because he's a repaint of Sideways. He does come with this little chopper grinder thing on his arm, which actually rotates really good. So that's pretty cool. I could count that as a weapon, like a chainsaw or something. And also, guys, with these two blades, there actually can be attached to him. If you guys just come up to under his arms, there are these little tabs right there. If you guys can see, there's a little tab right there to where you guys can actually get the things, rotate them, and actually just plug them in, and they actually stick in there pretty good. And then again, with the same arm, you guys can actually go right here, get this little blade piece, and actually just pop it onto the little tabs, like so. And there you have his two little blade pieces on his little arms, which are really cool. And I'm really liking it, how the way they did it, because it was just like in the movie, but I think in the movie they kind of actually stood out a little bit more, so that's not that big of a deal. And then again, if you guys want them like that, you guys can actually take them off and actually rotate them to where they will actually be stuck out a little bit more. If I can get it back on the tab, so you guys can actually put them right here. And then you guys can have them even out like that if you guys want them. So you guys can have one in and one out, which is really cool. And if you guys are wondering how's the height on these guys, this is basically him next to the Age of Extinction Drift and the Age of Extinction Hound and Transformers 3, I would say, or 2. Cliff Jumpers. So that's pretty cool. And you guys can see the height isn't really that much. He is taller than Drift, but shorter than Hound if you exclude these two little things that point up. And he's about the same height as Cliff Jumper. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys are active on Facebook or on Instagram, go into my description and click on those links and add me. This is Scott Orr saying peace out. Hello, I'm telling you to go subscribe to It's Scott Orr right now before I Dino you. Yeah.
Subscribe.